Okay, welcome back to Rome Remastered. I think we're going to kick this one off with just a few kind of strategic maneuvers, and after that we're going to get into a couple of battles. So first things first, I want to make sure that this character can get to Thapsus this turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this force, we're going to park them next to the Carthage force. We're going to pick up a couple of mercenaries, and we're going to join those up. So these should be fast enough to be able to join the rest of our forces later. We probably don't need these. They're not going to be too important against Thapsus, so we'll join these up too. This force is just 3 units of Iberian infantry, so we can literally just hit them with our skirmishers and pretty much weaken them fully. Then back in Carthage, we're going to take some forces and we're going to sail to the north to take the town of Corellis. So we're going to send these ships slightly to the west. We're going to pick up some hoplites. That actually doesn't make Lilybium too happy, but still. Just going to go with it for now. We're going to go back to Lilybium, we're going to pick up some more peasants, we're going to go to Carthage. We're going to train up one more unit of, I think, armoured hoplites should be fine. Then we're going to go to the north of Italy, we're going to take these forces, we're going to send them up to the north. As if we cross the bridge we can see the town of Mediolanum, which is pretty weak. We should be able to send a few more forces to go and back this up as well. So if we move forward with just our cav, that's a bit risky. We have got Flavius Julius, the faction leader. I think we need a few more defenders, so let's leave a couple of units behind. Let's go join these up. So Arretium is very unhappy with that. We're going to recruit some peasants. Probably going to need to send some more units up, so we've got the armoured hoplites here which can go up. Arretium's still very unhappy, but it does take them up to 51%. We've got a few forces here we can probably send over, so let's send over some archers. 66%. They are already at low tax rates, so I think we are going to have to send at least one more unit, so let's go with these two. And there we go, that's solved the problem in Arretium. We've got this ship, which is hopefully going to take us up to this next town as well. But if we try to get across there, I think we might be able to make it. Let's have a look. Yep, so we can land next to that, so let's take all of these forces. Let's leave behind the mercs. Step into the ships. Ariminum's still just about okay with that. We've got some more archers coming in too, so let's go and land. As we can actually see these forces too. If we just attack these now, if we can actually kill this guy, we might be able to take the town. I think that's worth a go. Let's pick up all the mercs. Okay, so we go for that. They unfortunately do back off, so we are going to have to go for a normal siege. We can't attack these ships, so we're going to have to pull back. Okay, so we should take Batavium next turn, Mediolanum next turn. Segesta we can take this turn, but let's come back to that later. Over in Germania, this is pretty much the one place where we're not really expanding. We've kind of run out of steam, we need to send some more forces over. Could send some of these forces to the west, but first let's go to this part of the map. Let's have a look for the Scythians. There should be some Scythians. Okay, it's surprisingly quiet. So let's go to the north. Rebels there are just some peasants, so we should just be able to go straight through them, as they do back off. I think maybe we just go and finish them off. No, let's ignore them. Let's take some forces from here as well, let's send them to the north as well. Could probably also send a few units of infantry. Don't think we lose too much from that, so let's go for the hoplites, let's go for Thracian mercs, Bastani mercs, and I think mercenary peltasts should be fine as well. Then we have Armenia with this big force, which we're going to send to the north. We're probably just going to follow the path. I think there is a town up to the northwest, which we could also go for, and in fact, that could actually attack this town, so I think going northwest first does make sense, where we do find the city of Tanais, I think that is. Potentially about to be attacked by the Scythians, which is interesting, but yeah, I think we still go for that. We're going to send these forces up in this direction as well. And these forces are going to go and attack Hatra. Don't manage to open the gates with our spy, but never mind. Let's maintain the siege there. We're going to take this diplomat. We're going to talk to Damascus. Just to see if they'll accept a bribe. Okay. 15k. They'll join us. I'm gonna do it. So, first bribe of the campaign is done. And we have taken this city for ourselves. Perfect. Looks like we killed off a merchant as well. Okay, so Damascus not too happy with us. We do get to steal a couple of agents, which we can now send out. Okay, so this is pretty much the end of the Seleucids. They don't really have much left. Patra is still not their capital, so I think they've still got a town to the east. But yeah, we should be able to keep expanding. We can send these guys to attack this force. This is a relatively strong force, but it's 100% cav, so if we just go for it with our hoplites, we should actually be fine. Let's do it. If we're lucky, we will get a man of the hour, so definitely worth a go. Okay, I think this is fairly straightforward. They are just going to sit themselves there. We, I think, do just approach them with our hoplites. Try to keep our archers as safe as possible. We've got a few armoured hoplites up here as well. Let's speed this up. Okay, so these things are going to charge towards us. Let's send them straight into our phalanx as they do turn around. That is a general's bodyguard, so I have to be a little bit careful. These guys don't matter too much. These guys don't really either. But Balearic slingers should be pretty good against general's bodyguard. These guys, I think, should focus on the scythe chariots. And I think we just see how this plays out. Not actually going to engage if we don't have to. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to actually maneuver around all of this. So we're just going to keep moving forwards. See if we can get a few kills. They obviously don't want to charge us. So let's just speed this up. Let's see if they actually do anything. They shouldn't want us to just shoot them. But so far we are getting away with it. We've lost a few to friendly fire, but I think that's worth it. Keep shooting at the chariots. Keep these a little bit further back. Pelta's probably not going to get in range, but still worth a go. If they get caught out, that's fine, as I think we've wiped out... Yeah, we've wiped out about half of these. Scythe chariots, really very vulnerable to any kind of ranged attack. They are actually running amok, so they are going to kill a few of the general's units off. Generals do come in for the charge, but they pull back. They have nowhere to run, so we can pretty much just speed this up. Wait for them to actually go for us as the running amok chariots do come back. Grab us a few more easy kills. These guys have gone way too far forward, which is really bad, but managed to just about escape. I think they were chasing after the chariots, to be fair. So it's just Demetrius left. We've lost a few units there, but not too many, and Demetrius obviously doesn't actually want to go for us. We've still got plenty of ammo left. He's pretty close to being wiped out. Let's just give it a few more minutes. He might try and come around the side. And he does flee. Okay, so we lost less than 10 men. That was definitely worth it. And perfect, we do get man of the hour. Good commander, bureaucrat, 20 years old. I think we obviously do accept this. Okay, so the big question now is... Are we going to go to war with Egypt? Definitely need to sort out the public order situation in this town if we can. If we have any cav units, I think we send them across. Okay, so this is the problem with this. We can't actually reach Damascus. Once the peasants come in, I think we should be fine. Temple, we should probably leave up. There's a 10% bonus. If we get rid of that, I don't think we can make up for it. Although, it is possible. The alternatives, the Governor's Palace definitely needs to be built, so let's queue that up. Maybe we destroy this. No, I think we risk it. I think once the peasants come in, that should actually be enough. If the Seleucids decide to attack it, we should be able to go after them. Let's start moving most of these to the south. This is pretty weakly defended. Egypt, pretty expansive, I think, but not actually too strong. I think we might go to war with them. First, let's actually see what's going on with this town to the southwest. Okay, so that is actually owned by Egypt as well. I thought it might be the Numidians instead. Okay, so it looks like war with Egypt is pretty much inevitable, so maybe we just go and walk onto their lands. Let's do that. I think that's fine. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to fight these Carthaginian forces. They again can't run. They're pretty easy to take out using our javelins. Let's just go for it. We just go and park ourselves next to this ruin. I don't think they can really do too much to us. Let's speed this up. Let's go and hit them with as much ammo as we can. And they should have pretty much nothing left after that. Just want to make sure that these guys don't screw up too much. Slow this down a bit. Let's see what happens. So everyone is in skirmish mode, so we should be fairly safe. As yeah, we do completely destroy that unit. If we go for this one next, that should be fine as well. Pull back. Yeah, they literally can't run us down. We are faster than them, or we should be. Still got a bit of ammo to go. Actually been routed. 2 of our units were routed when they came towards us. We've taken no losses. I don't think we've taken any losses. Might have taken a few to friendly fire. But a couple of our units actually got scared off, which kind of speaks to how bad, whatever these things are, speaks to how bad Libyan mercenaries actually are. Still got some ammo to go. Let's bring our general up. Just to make sure that doesn't happen again.
The enemy general flee. This is a victory.
Okay, they get a total of 1 kill, and that has definitely gone according to plan. Oh, we actually get a man of the hour. So 2 men of the hour. This guy, I think, can reach Thapsus. So let's go for that. Let's put up a few rams. Send these guys down too. Put up a few more. And yeah, we've got 2 strong forces attacking Thapsus. That should all go completely fine. We've got these guys ready to sail to the north. I think next thing we will do is we will take the Scythian town. We're going to go and recruit some Scythian mercenaries. So this is 2 units of axemen, 1 unit of general's bodyguard, which could be kind of a problem, but should be able to fight them from range, and I think that should be fine. Let's do it as a night battle just because it looks cooler. Okay, so there's no one guarding the gates, so we should be fine just to go forward. We're going to drop the rams. Send the Cretians up just to do some damage. Send these 2. And Scythian mercenaries also do have pretty good range. So that should be all good. Let's join these up. Oh, bad mistake actually. Forgot about that tower. That tower is actually pretty close. Need to be a bit careful. Let's move these guys forward. Bring these up too. Okay, so a unit of axemen is actually approaching us. I think a little bit too late. We should be able to do a lot of damage with our various range units. Let's just focus on these for now. Let's actually probably not involve the Cretians. I'm going to take them off fire at will. And we're just going to leave the rest, take on the axemen. So what else have we got? I think most of our units, to be fair, are just melee units. So we do have to be potentially a little bit careful of our ammo, but I think wiping these out does make sense. We should have enough ammo to do that. As yeah, they are pretty much completely destroyed. Let's stop this, let's pull these back before they get shot by the tower. These guys have gone in, need to be a little bit careful. We're going to send the hoplites in first. Speed them up, take them off phalanx stance. So the general's bodyguard is the big threat. Then in the town square they should have 1 more unit of axemen. That's not going to be too much of a threat. I think it is just that general. The axemen shouldn't do much. So axemen are approaching us once again, but Our hoplites do arrive on time, so that's fine. Okay, let's try this. Let's make sure they stay on phalanx stance. And let's take the rest of these range units, let's put them in just behind. Take these things as well. I think they call themselves Scythian Mercenaries, which... Is that what it's pronounced? I'm gonna stick to calling them the Scythians. Unless I'm wrong, of course. I think this is a fairly solid barrier. Put our Cretians in just behind, we'll start firing on the general. Let's bring these guys up too. Bring our general just in case, and let's bring these guys up as well. Scythians will bring slightly closer. Okay, so we're firing on the general. If he comes to charge us, I think 2 units of hoplites should be okay. Worst case scenario, we've got a few more coming up as well. I think they are going to go for the charge. Do go straight into our spears. They could come around the side slightly, but I think that should still be fine. General should be coming up as well. Let's send our other unit of hoplites in directly. Let's focus the Cretians on the X-Men.
The enemy general flees! Press forward so that the spirit of his army is a broken tool!
Okay, so they come in for round 2, but they have already routed once, so they should break fairly quickly. I think. Let's make sure we drop these spears.
The enemy army is in flight!
There we go, he does go down. The Axemen did come out, so we don't have to take them on in the town square, and we've taken very few losses, that's perfect. Okay, this is quite far from our capital, and we can't actually see what the public order situation is. I think the safest thing to do is just to exterminate, as yep, that is still a pretty unhappy town. So definitely the right decision. Let's retrain as many of these as possible. Let's get some peasants. Anything we can do to improve the public order, I think does make sense. So, Sacred Grove of Papai, or however you pronounce that, I think we should hang on to. It is a 10% boost to our public order, which should make up for the culture penalty. Let's just go for the Odeon. So we've acquired their merchant. I'm not sure what's actually around here, let's have a look. It seems fairly barren. This is a merchant. He's probably a bit better than ours. Yeah, 8% chance of success to buy him out. I think we just go for this. If this is... grain. It is right next to the city, so I got a bit confused. So we're trading grain. That's making us almost no money. But we're in the steppes. I imagine there's not too much in the steppes that's actually going to make us any money, so I think that's fine. Okay, so new son adopted, that is the one over near Carthage. Next thing to do is we're going to attack Segesta. In this case, we've got lots of retrainable armoured hoplites going up against some fairly basic Romans. And I think I will actually auto-resolve this one. We should be fine. Yeah, so we take a few losses, but that's okay. We can always send some of these back to retrain. We're just going to play it safe and exterminate, and they are immediately happy with us. That's perfect. Let's go for paved roads, and we can't retrain, so let's merge all of our losses into a single unit, if we can. Not quite. Okay, so if we do this, we've got 2 units that need to go back and retrain. So we're going to send those back to Arretium. Retrain them straight away. Going back to Segesta, we're going to pick up... I think we should maybe pick up some peasants instead, because that will enable us to keep pushing. Let's see what actually happens if we drop them to a low tax rate. And we step out with 4 units. Still 100%, that's not bad. Still 100%. If we try our final unit, that takes them to still 100%, so perfect. We should be good just to keep going to the west in that case. No mercenaries available, but I think 5 units of armoured hoplites plus a general should actually be good enough to take on something basic. As we've also claimed another merchant, who I think is currently being besieged by us. Oh no, he's right here in the middle. Okay. So what can he do? He's got a 13% chance of buying out this merchant. That's obviously not going to work out, so let's look at what else we can do. Iron for potentially 20 plus gold. There might be someone there, but let's go for it. Also, this force I think is the one that was going to attack Apollonia, so it's a bit weaker than I thought, and I think we can risk this. We just move out, see if we can find anything. Okay, so we're going to send this guy up to the town, which I think is in this part of the map, possibly this kind of area, I'm not really sure. Could actually be on the coast, I'm not completely sure about that. But yeah, I think we've pretty much done everything I was going to do in this particular turn. We're still expanding just about everywhere. Can't think there's too much else we can do. We've got a bit of a public order situation in Tanais, so let's go for some more peasants. Thessalonica's still got the plague. Byzantium needs some more public order, so we're going to go for some peasants. Pergamum likewise. I think anywhere we see unhappy looking people, let's just pick up some more peasants. Bribing that town was a little bit cheaper than I thought, so that's good. Do still have plenty of money to spend. Let's start training up some units as well. So we get some hoplites. In Mazaka we're going to go and retrain some units, going to get some more hoplites. Sinope we'll go for some Greek cav. Campus Scythii we're going to go for some more militia cav. Campus Getae, let's just go for some peasants. And then moving to the west, we've got this town, which is actually pretty well defended. So I think what I'll do is I'll recruit some peasants. I think we'll do that in both towns. And we're just going to send some of these forces out. Let's try this. So I think we go in this direction. If this ruins the public order, I think we just risk it. 78%, that's not too bad. The peasants should actually fix that. Go for some roads. Send some peasants up from this town. We'll send our hoplites back into Porolissum. Then in Ariminum we're going to go for the Temple of Hermes. This town likewise, I think. Let's just keep going for some temples, just play it safe, play it simple. Communal farming is tempting. Paved roads I think does make more sense though. Capua doesn't actually have a port, which is really surprising because I thought it starts with one. So yeah, definitely going for a port does make sense. Then we still have 10,000 to spend, so in Carthage we're going to go for a shipwright. In Halicarnassus we're going to go for the Temple of Hermes. And then in Rhodes, go for the large Temple of Hermes. I'm not sure this stuff is really going to pay for itself at this point, so possibly going for military production would make more sense. So in the case of Antioch, I think let's actually go for an armourer. And then unfortunately in Lovacis and Aquincum we have no option to keep building up those towns. So we're pretty stuck there, we can't really expand too much, but the amount of expansion we're doing across the rest of the map is going to make up for that. Okay, let's end the turn, let's see what happens. I might have forgotten something, but our turns are extremely busy at this point, so I think that's fine. Okay, so I've picked up a new achievement called Gotta Catch Them All. I've just seen someone has stepped out of that town, so I'm not sure if it's rebelled. Because I'm pretty sure I didn't tell them to do that. That's kind of annoying if that's what's happened.
Greetings.
We only had that one turn. These guys want trade rights. They don't want an alliance. See if I can get some money. Still generous. I'm gonna go for it.
Most generous proposal.
Okay, so let's see what's happened. Okay, so I do still own the town. My unit stepped out, so I'm not sure if I told them to do that. The town is actually not revolting. I'm very confused by this. Byzantium has grown. Okay, so we did see the public order situation deteriorating a bit. Thessalonica still has the plague. Seleucid Empire have been spotted in Damascus. Okay, That's all fine. We're going to go for some more peasants just to keep shoring up public order. Going to put these guys back in the town. That takes them up to 75%, which should actually be nice and safe. And then we can go and attack Egypt. Probably the last major player we're not at war with. But obviously it does make sense to go for it. Before we do, let's put this guy in the town just to see if we can open the gates. Okay, so he doesn't manage to open the gates. We don't appear to be able to build stat points. But it is just Pharaoh's Bowmen, although Pharaoh's Bowmen are actually really good in melee combat, so that could be a problem. Then again though, against armoured hoplites, I think we should be fine. Okay, so we're officially at war with Egypt. We have this force ready to land, which can then fight against these. I think I'm willing to chance that we can take these on. Let's just pick up any mercenaries we can. Let's launch the attack, as they do fall back. I'm going to build a few rams, and we can attack that next turn. Okay, Scythia and Seleucid Empire have become allies. Two factions close to being annihilated. Okay, so I think we do kick off another war here. I think we do go to war with Dacia, as they do have a few units. We can't actually reach them this turn, but let's just go and join these up. No mercenaries available. So these forces are not the best for taking on the Dacians, but I think they should just about get the job done. Okay, let's go for Patavium. This one can very obviously be auto-resolved. We take no losses. Take this town for ourselves, and we should be able to step out, scare this force off. Oh, they want to fight us. Maybe they just can't back off, I'm not really sure. This one, I think, most of this stuff can be retrained. Let's auto-resolve. They do get a few kills, but that's fine. Let's go back, and let's do some retraining. Let's merge some of these together. Okay, that should be fine. So the rest of this retraining is really just blacksmith stuff, so I think we can just move straight on. This force is going to go for Mediolanum. Should be good enough, I think. Maybe could do with one extra unit, which we will send across. The rest of these forces, I think, will go towards Germania. Tavium is fine with that. Let's send these guys to the west, see if we can find a town. So there should be a town, I think, just on this part of the coast, which we should be able to reach turn after next. I'm going to send our diplomat to the east, see if we can bribe this as well.
Be quick. Our patience is limited.
Okay, so no option to bribe this. Is this their capital?
Be quick.
So it's not their capital. Maybe we can't bribe it because it's the faction heir. I'm not really sure. Okay, never mind. I think we will have to attack that at some point pretty soon. So the Scythians are officially besieging this town, which we were going to go for. We can't join in the siege. We, I think, can't actually reach them. So we can reach them in 2 turns. I think best thing to do is just to pick on Armenia while they are weak. As unfortunately we can't quite reach. And then we're going to send these guys up to the west. I'm going to pick up these next couple of armoured hoplites, and we're going to send them towards, I think, Damascus needs us more. Thought about going to Sidon, but I don't think that makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to this. Let's train up some more armoured hoplites. Let's go back to this, train up some normal hoplites. Move the peasants across. Then we're going to go back to Carthage. We're going to move the ships slightly to the west. Going to go back into the town. We're going to pick up all of the armoured hoplites. If we do this, this might be going a bit too far. Let's see what happens. 60% public order, that's actually fine. So let's go for some peasants. Let's jump in the ships. Let's go across to the large town of Corellis, which there is a force here, but it's pretty weak. They can't really recruit too much here, so that shouldn't really be an issue. throw down a couple of rams, and that should be pretty easy to get next turn. I think we have done enough for this part. Lots of rapid expansion, and that will continue in the next part as well, but that's going to be all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.